Hi, everybody. Welcome to Get Inspired, Stay Inspired, part 3 of emotional eating with Dr. Marty and Dr. Donna. Hi, guys.
Hi,
Hello.
everybody.
So today we are talking about ways to avoid emotional eating, which is easy to say, but not easy to do, right?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Absolutely. I was thinking this morning as we were getting ready to do this video, that, we're our mindset is in a place where we're almost like controlled. We're managing ourselves, but then, when you have a hard day at work, when you have you receive bad news from the family or whatever it may be, when your teenager's driving you crazy and you're stressed out, that mindset kind of goes out the window, and it's like a switch. It's super fast to go from being in that place of, okay, making good choices, to that emotional place where you run over to that crunchy thing. So it's so much easier to say than to do, right?
Always. But that's like
Always.
that about most good choices are easier to talk about than to
Right.
actually do. So it requires a little bit of discipline. And I think part of it requires some strategies that you have to mentally set for yourself before the trigger happens. Because I think that's, it's kind of like not, everybody talks about don't go grocery shopping on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
Right. So
We've all done that.
We've all done that, and it's never good.
No.
All of a sudden you own aisle 6, right? So just the same way that you should not go shopping on an empty stomach, because you're likely to make either wrong choices or buy too much, or not stick to your list, for example. You should have a mental grocery list of what to do.
Yeah.
Strategies.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. What kind of strategies are we talking about?
Well, I can tell you what works for me. Like every single one of us gets that craving, gets that feeling of, man, I need a chocolate bar. I need those chips. When that emotion hits you, sometimes you just need to take a step back and take 5, right? Take 5 minutes and say, ooh, let me get myself under control. Do I really want that? And taking 5 kind of puts things into perspective. Whether you're just going to sit there and kind of meditate, or whether you're going to go for a walk, get a glass of water. Let me grab a glass of water. Let me see if that craving can go away. Because at the end of the day, after you have that cave into that craving, you don't feel good.
Right.
So certainly taking 5 and taking a step back can give you a whole new perspective.
Yeah, another strategy that I use, definitely the water, and I joke with my patients all the time, and if they're listening, they every single one of them has heard me say, if you're happy, drink water. If you're sad, drink water. If you're stressed out, drink water. If you're celebrating, celebrate with fizzy water.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, first of all, you need to step back. You need to think about, am I hungry? Like, sometimes you're standing there in front of the pantry waiting for it to speak to you. You're not hungry.
Yeah.
And the other strategy that, another health coach that I share a lot of stuff with told me is, at this particular moment, would you be willing to eat a plate of steamed broccoli? If you're at this particular moment not willing to sit there and eat a plate of just plain steamed broccoli, honey, you're not hungry.
Yeah.
You might be bored, you might be sad, but hungry's hungry.
Right. There's a difference between hunger and emotional eating.
And emotional eating. So, if you're sitting there and you'd be willing to eat a plate of steamed broccoli, you know what? Maybe you are hungry. And so maybe you need to make yourself a plate of steamed broccoli, like for real. Nobody ever really got fat from that, that wouldn't derail your weight loss progress a whole lot, or your healthy eating plan, or your training, or whatever you're doing. So, those are the kind of like the questions that I ask myself when I'm in that moment.
Yeah. That's what we tell our clients in our practice, is surrounding yourself with those healthier options. So, you know, if you do have to go and grab something, I mean, the best thing is to catch yourself. Uh, but if you do need to go grab something, then that something is something that's going to provide life to you and not death. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. Something that's going to provide life versus something that's highly processed that's going to cause you all sorts of other problems, in the long run. So that's definitely a strategy, surrounding yourself. Yesterday, I was talking to one of my clients, and she told me, she's like, I do not buy soda uh, ever. Like she used to drink like 5, 6 cans of soda a day. And that's how she managed her stress. Like, is that sugar, that sugar, that sugar. And now her children are like, because she does not buy it, she doesn't bring it in her house. She doesn't care what the kids say. She doesn't care what anybody says. And that's how she manages it, because her thing is that sugar in that soda that gives her almost like it comforts her, but it's the one that made her, severely obese.
Yeah.
And
And
if
Coach
it's there, you
Martha,
eat it.
that's great that you bring that up, because many of my patients don't bring their triggers into their house,
Mhm.
because these are habits that you kind of have to break, because part of the emotional eating is a habit. And Dr. Marty said it. My patients will say it too. My solution is the water, right? A lot of times that craving can also be water, right? You
You're
might be
thirsty.
thirsty. You might be thirsty. And the solution, don't bring that trigger into your house. If you know that's what your go-to is, have some water. My other solution is, sometimes you need something warm. That warmth can help with those cravings, can help with that hunger. I tell patients to have a cup of herbal tea, a
Mhm.
cup of coffee, whatever your favorite is. Sometimes you might want that little sweetness. Those herbal teas are fantastic to
Yeah.
do that. Get creative, figure out what helps you. Because at the end of the day, for each and every single one of us, it's something different that helps us. And that's why taking that 5 minutes to take a step back and see what works for you is really one of
Yeah,
the key
I
things.
also talk to my patients about, if you have a dog, this is a great time to step away and take your dog for a walk.
Yeah.
5 minutes around the block. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to go on a 8-mile hike. Just step away from whatever the trigger is, whether it's your spouse, whether you've had a long day at work and all you can think about is, a drink and a fatty, mac and cheese or, something, and just get home, decompress, take a hot bath, take a shower, go for a walk, make
Yeah.
a list of things that you feel would soothe you
Mhm.
or would allow you to step away. And honestly, sometimes to start, you might need to make a list. Some of us, unfortunately, don't know how to cope in any other way. And so coaching is one of the huge things that we do in all of our practices, because this is part of our strategy to help you keep the weight off forever.
Right.
It's a lot of programs can help you take off the weight, but very few of them will coach you through that mental process of learning coping strategies and figuring out what else to do, and dealing with peer pressure, which we've talked about in other series, and coping with the triggers that make you become an emotional eater. And that's part of what we teach, because that's our passion. We want you to be healthy forever.
And it's such an important part, right? Because most people can lose the weight. It's keeping it off. And so identifying these triggers really is the key. And part of our process is not only helping you identify those, but also to replace those bad habits with better habits and good habits that will keep you on track, for sure.
So ways to avoid eating emotionally, right? So number one, go for a walk, some type of exercise of some sort, always helps. Number two, listen to music, something that's gonna get you to the right mindset, shift over from the way that you feel, sadness or whatever it may be, to something that's gonna bring joy and happiness, and you know, shift that mindset. Drink water, we said. Surround yourself with healthier options, right? Get support. So get support from people that know how to walk people through this, you know, like us in our practices. Also, mindset work, meditation, I think is huge. You know,
Prayer.
Yeah.
prayer, whatever it may
Yeah.
be, however you people
Mhm.
believe, that is very, very important as well. So there's several things that we can do to help us go through this. And like Dr. Marty says, you know, making a list of those things and those strategies. So then when you're in that moment that you're like, okay, so, you know, this works for me. I mean, I have an awesome bathtub, you know, throw some essential oils in there, some lavender, because,
Yep.
and go from wanting to, you know,
Some Epsom salts in there. Oh, how
Yeah.
relaxing is that?
yeah,
Yeah.
instead of thinking of wanting to choke this person, I'm just gonna go to the bathtub and throw
Yeah.
some lavender in there. You know, I mean, listen, it happens.
And you know what? You're alone, right? So in this, in what's going on in our world today, the stress and anxiety levels are high. I really think that everybody owes it to themselves to take 10 minutes a day, close yourself in a room by yourself, whether it's the bathtub, whether it's your bedroom, whether it's a closet. I mean, if you can escape somewhere, 10 minutes and meditate, prayer, whatever you find, it really makes a huge difference. I just had a patient message me this morning, and I gave her that suggestion last week for her anxiety and for her cravings. And she said it's made a world of difference for her.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you have to find what's right for you. But the 10-minute, 5-10 minute meditation makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I definitely, like I said, that list has worked for me. That's because it's almost like training, you know, and we all have a team that we work with at the office. And when you bring in a new team member, you teach them what to say and you kind of practice. If somebody asks you this, how do you respond? If somebody asks you this, how do you respond? When my kids were little, we used to practice going out to dinner and how to order. You have to almost coach yourself. So writing that list down is coaching yourself on learning better coping strategies. Because once you've written it down, your body's like, you know what? There's 10 different things that I could do other than open that bag of chips.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
go through the
absolutely.
list. Sometimes you might have to go through the list and go through 5 of them.
Yeah.
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 And that's okay.
Yeah, journaling is also a really good one to journal
Yeah.
your feelings.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, we hope that all these strategies helped you. You know, comment below. Let us know. Let us know. You know, if you have any comments, we are here. Dr. Marty from Inspire Weight Loss Lake Nona, Dr. Donna, Inspire Weight Loss Nutley, and myself, Inspire Weight Loss Davy. And we do this every day. We love helping people. We support people, and like we all said, you know, this is a long-term thing that we look for our clients and our patients. So yeah, comment below, subscribe to our channel, guys. We are doing part 4 of emotional eating, and that will be know your emotional triggers. So we are going to be talking about that soon, so stay tuned. Thank you. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Bye-bye.